Okay, so this is my story. I'm a little bit drunk, not because I need to be drunk to tell the story, but because I got a good whiskey for my coworkers and I wanted to taste it. But anyway, this is gonna be a long story. Eh, Quite a long story. Um, I could start it from my biological mom. She was about 15 when she was raped. She was from religious family, and so she couldn't do abortion, nor she actually wanted that. And I was result of that. She gave me adoption. I got really, really amazing and great parents, and but I lived in a small town, approximately at the time 4 to 5,000 people. So um, it spread out, and after that, I started to get bullied. Now the thing is that I always been a big guy, and I knew how to fight. My adoption dad was a lumberjack, so we wrestled since but some point in my life, I think it was when I was about 10 or 11, my teacher told me that I should stop fighting because it's infecting my grades. And she thought I'm so much more intelligent than my grades were. And I gave it the thought and I decided not to fight anymore. Uh, that made bullying even worse. It really did. But the thing was that, and this will sound you funny. It really does sound funny. But I was bullied because of my skin color in that really small place. And I used to spend a lot of time in the sun. I was fake nigger, 8 ball, all kinds of that kind of name, which racist as fuck. But yeah, I was bullied like 10 years in schools, and I stopped fighting back. I'm not that I did voluntarily swim at the toilets and stuff like that, or got threatened by knives. Yeah, not voluntarily, but I didn't hit anybody, and I didn't voluntarily uh, went to the toilet for a swim. When I was 14, I was in a summer camp, and there was a girl who was one year older than I was. She was first girl who was actually interested in me, but she wanted to have sex with me. I was 14 years old in a fucking small town. That was something. I was at the age I haven't even kissed a girl. Seriously, I no. So when the camp was about to end, she told me she wanted to talk in a downstairs, you know, bathroom or something. And I went there just to have a talk. And she said she wants to have a sex with me. And I said, no, I barely did know what the sex is at the age of 14. And she told me these magical words. If you don't have sex with me, I tell everybody you are a gay. And for a guy who has been bullied for everything, that was the worst thing could have happened. That was my first sexual experience. So when you say no man can be raped, no boy can be raped by a woman or girl, you are wrong. Anyway, after bullying, I graduated high school. I changed to different town and stuff like that. Mm, I started to study international business. Um, in a couple of towns, I realized, well, um, girls started to fancy me, and I cannot be really proud of those years. I cannot. Uh, I had sex way too many women at the time just because I needed a validation. I needed validation that I wasn't ugly. I needed validation that I don't know what, but I wasn't a fucking idiot. Cheers to that. Um, After several years of studying, I was about 23, 20. I had my army behind. About 23. I went to States. Mm, they offered me a good job over there, actually from the World Bank. And I realized the days, the weeks I spent over there, that this isn't my country. Nothing wrong with USA. There is quite a lot of wrong, but I mean, I didn't hate the place. I just didn't understand why there are so many homeless people, and why things are like that. It was 95. Yeah, I remember because Rudolph Giuliani was about to get elected or just elected to uh, mayor of New York, and David Buchanan was a presidential candidate, and Ross Perot. Yeah. When anyway, I realized that, and this is my opinion, doesn't have to be yours. Seriously, my opinion. I realized that I don't. I if I want to be rich, somebody has to get much poorer, and I realized that I don't want to make people poor. I mean, it's never mind. Not about nothing about economics, but the thing is that after that, I called my dad from USA, And he said, "Why did you come back, son? If you don't like economics anymore and you don't want to stay abroad, come back to Finland. Mm, Become a police officer. That's good profession." And I started to think, yeah, why not? Why not? There are lots of things yeah, it felt like that's gonna be pretty good. And I had to try it 2 times. Mm, I failed the first time medical exams. Second time got in. Um, the first time was because of eyesight. And anyway, I became police officer, and um, then I have always known. Well, I remember I was told first time approximately like I was like 5 or 6 when I was told that I'm adopted. So I have always known. First time, mm, I told this in. I was in big southern city. Uh, don't give a name of the city. Not giving a name of the district I was working for, but I was working for. Um, that was my first police district, by the way. Mm, I was working for investigation at the time, and I told one sergeant about this that I've been adopted, and he said, "Do you want to know that? Do you have sisters and brothers?" I said, "No, I don't think so. I'm happy if my biological mom is alive, and if she's doing well and stuff like that. But I never thought that I would have after that kind of incident. I don't think that's possible." And he asked me, "Do you want to know?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Can you do that?" And he said, "Yeah, I can by breaking the law, but you are not allowed to tell anybody about this thing uh, in 10, 15 years. I don't remember how long, but yeah, long time. Until the crime gets old. So he cannot be prosecuted anymore. So, but that was the first time he pulled out paper which showed that I have 8 siblings. 8 siblings. And I was blown away. I have been the only child for all my life. And I had 8 siblings. And he asked me, "What you gonna do with that paper I gave you?" There was everything. I mean, addresses, names, date of birth, everything. And I gave it a thought, like a few minutes, and I said, "Nothing. They probably don't know anything about me. They probably don't know anything about what happened to their mom when she was a kid. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut, and I'm happy that my biological mom got married, had a bunch of kids, and probably living a happy life because I already had my parents. Like I said, they've been amazing all my life. Sometimes annoying, but yeah, amazing. Um, if I fast forward a few years, not quite few, quite a few, mm, about 10 years from that moment, I was in mm, this kind of I wasn't well. Okay, let me explain like this. I wasn't a field officer anymore. I was working for Emergency Central, um, and there was this kind of huge gathering. Well, there's lots of police officers. There were dispatchers, paramedics, and stuff like that. And we were spending like a weekend in a hotel, which was solely reserved for us. And I was talking to uh, one police officer. We were roommates. We didn't know each other before. And I was talking with him, started to drink. Uh, just started, like maybe one or two beers or something. And suddenly my mom calls and she says, um, are you sitting down? I said, no, should I? And she said, yeah, maybe she should. Maybe you should. So I sat down, and the huge ass police from Lapland, he gave me a, he looked me to eyes. He gave me a long drink and flew from the room. And my mom, who is really, really disgraceful, just announced that your sister is looking for you. And I was like, what? Yeah, yeah. I just got a phone call from Rescued Children organization that your sister has contacted them and she wants to get contact with you. And I was like, my sister? Yeah, yeah. You remember you adopted? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I do remember and I know these things. Yeah. She has found out that I was adopted. Uh, no, that she has an older brother who has been adopted, and she wanted to meet me. So, um, yeah, we had a phone call later on. We talked like 2 hours, and then I met my oldest, my oldest stepsister, another sister, and one brother. And yeah, that's kind of like my new life started. Um, why I say new life at this point? I had life before, um, good life. Even I told you anything, everything about being bullied and everything. There was a lot of good moments. I still have four of my childhood friends, and the oldest one, is the guy I met in the children sandbox, I mean playing ground thingy. So yeah, it's hasn't been that bad. It sounds. It really hasn't. But anyway, um, so I met three of my siblings in the first time. Slowly, later on, I met seven of them. Um, one of my uh, siblings doesn't want to see me or know me. Um, she's quite a religious, and don't take this wrong. I don't blame religion. One of my sisters is deeply involved in religion. God damn it, religion, and she's amazing. So this is her husband, and I'm quite often contact with them, and I'm always welcome to them to visit them, their children, even though I myself I'm an atheist. So when you think that you know somebody, you really don't, unless he or she opens the heart and tells you really their story. This is my story. It's not made for, I don't need pity, not at all. My life has a lot more difficulties than this in this story, but this is the story I want to share. But the thing is that everybody has their story. So don't be the asshole who judges people without knowing them. Seriously, don't be. Everybody has their fucked up story. Everybody has their great story. Everybody has their funny story. If you ask me, I'm happy most of the time. Why I'm not emotionally involved with this story, I'm telling you, you might think that because of that, the story isn't true. Yeah, you are entitled to think that, yeah, I invented a story. That is your issue. I don't have to show any facts or anything about the story. I know it's true. But whether it's true or not, in your opinion, listen to the story and start thinking, what kind of fucked up things can happen? And it doesn't need to make you racist. It doesn't need to make you anything bad. Seriously, your life can be fucked up. People around you can be violent. Your life can be a mess. But don't let them validate what you will become. If you were abused child, if you were beaten as a kid, you don't have to continue this sickening tradition, because it's nothing more than sickening tradition. Don't pass it on. Don't pass the violence on. Don't pass your bullshit on. Even it happens in relationships. Always remember that was that relationship I suffered. Probably the other side suffered too, but it doesn't matter. Don't take your bones to another relationship. You don't need to do that. You don't need to revenge. You don't need to suspect that because the person you were with before, that's the person I'm gonna meet again. There shouldn't be words like all the men, all the women, anything like that. Nothing to do with the skin color, your sexuality, nothing. Stop generalizing things. Just think this was my experience. That was the person I met. One person from one fucked up group you or anybody else invented. Everybody's an individual. And this was my individual story. Thank you for listening.